Jackeline here. In today's video, I'm bringing you my review, demo, swatches, a ton of comparisons, and this look using the brand new Shade and Illuminate Face and Eye Palette from Tom Ford in Rose Cashmere. But before we get started, and if you're new here, I hope that you will consider and subscribe to my channel, ring that post notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads, and come and follow me on my Instagram. And now, if you want to see more details about this palette, comparisons with Moonlit Violet, Red Harness, Suspicion, Soleil D'Hiver, and whatnot, then just keep on watching. As I'm sure you may have seen from my latest luxury makeup haul, I couldn't resist the temptation, and as soon as I saw this product coming back on Tom Ford's website, I decided to get it. And I'm talking about the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Face and Eye Palette in Intensity 0.5, which is Rose Cashmere. About a month to a month and a half ago, I reviewed another two of these face palettes, one in Moonlit Violet and the other one is in Red Harness. So if you're interested to see those two right there, you can go ahead, check them out after you're done with this video. Now, on this new collection, there are 4 palettes in total. The deepest one, I think, is called Moss Agate. Is very deep and it has a beautiful blue shade, but I know that palette is not gonna work for me and my skin tone. In fact, I know my friend here on YouTube, Alicia from Kinky Sweat, she just received it, and I don't remember, I think it was a live video. Anyhow, she swatched the bronzer and it was really deep. I hope she will come out with a dedicated video for that palette. I'm sure she will some point in time, but yeah. So anyhow, I came in, I picked it up, and unfortunately, as you may have seen once again on that haul, the palette came broken. Basically, the highlighter and the bronzers, they are baked formulas, and just as my Red Harness did, they came out of the palette. I mean, they are still in one piece, but I really do not know how to repair them. So if you know, if you have any tricks how to repair them, let me know, because this is the thing with Tom Ford. They said, okay, we can give you a refund. You need to send back the palettes, which makes total sense, but they cannot replace it right away because it's out of stock. And I had been waiting and waiting and waiting, and I even told them, hey, it came in stock, can you please send me my replacement, you know? And they just like, I'm sorry, it just went out of stock, I'm sorry. I mean, their customer service perhaps is not the best. I mean, I don't blame on them either, because if it's out of stock, it's out of stock. But anyhow, we have seen these palettes popping here and there in Nordstrom too. So, I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna send them back and then just perhaps purchase from Nordstrom, because what it seems like is that these palettes are not limited edition. At least I don't see anywhere that says that they are limited edition. In fact, they are supposed to come to other retailers, and I will be leaving on my description box below where you can find them. All the links will be in there of everything that I'm using today. So anyhow, these beautiful palettes, they retail for $155 each, and they have, different from previous face and eye palettes from Tom Ford from their Soleil collection, their packaging is not the typical white one. Is this, I mean, like, very within the line of Tom Ford, is this beautiful, very deep brown shade, and then with a gold trim. I mean, it's just very, very, very elegant. They are made in Italy, and I mean, going back, if we compare with the Soleil ones, those, they used to have a highlighter and a blush. These ones right here in the opposite side, they have a highlighter and a bronzer. So I think that's fun. So here it is. I'm gonna try to tilt it a little so you can see it, and hopefully the bronzer and the highlighters, they don't come off. But here you go. This is Rose Cashmere. Now, the intensities are meant to be to use for your skin tone. So this one, for example, is 0.5, which is more for those who have fair to light skin tones. And then the red hardness is more for those who have light to medium skin tone, perhaps, you know, medium to tan. It will still be good, and that's intensity 1. Then we have Moonlit Violet, which is intensity 2, and that's a little bit deeper, but yet, I mean, I can still use it, but I see that, you know, definitely a person who has more of a tan or a little bit deeper skin tone can use it. And then Moss Agate is the one that is for deeper complexions. So, I mean, the palettes are beautiful. And also another thing that I like about these new palettes is that the eyeshadows are from his wet and dry formula, which is one of my favorite ones as well. So what about if we start swatching it, and then later on I will give you comparisons between this palette right here versus Red Hardness, and perhaps these two shades versus Moonlit Violet, and then other eyeshadow quads that I have in my collection from Tom Ford that may look alike to this quad right here of eyeshadows. Okay, so let's start first with a highlighter, and then here it is the bronzer. There you go. Look at that highlighter. This is what I find out about these palettes right here. The highlighters, they are no joke. I mean, they have full intensity. Highlighter, bronzer. Okay, now let's swatch these right here. And then this peach shade here is the one that really captivated me, because the other shades, honestly, they look a little bit more in the cooler tone in the pan, but this particular shade, I mean, you know that I'm all about a peach, good peach shade, and this seems to be it. Okay, my friends, so as you can tell, I already have my face already prepped. I'm with foundation. In fact, I'm using this beautiful Tom Ford foundation right here. This is the love of my life right there. And I'm going to be using this Tom Ford 05 brush. So let's go into the bronzer first. So as the name of the palette implies, this is to, you know, like shade and illuminate. So when we're talking about shade, this bronzer is not too warm or too cool, and that's what I find out with all the other bronzers too. I mean, it's extremely neutral, and the formulation, I mean, I think you can see it right now. It's so easy to blend. It's just so beautiful. I like to apply a little bit of bronzer right here on my nose. And now let's go for the highlighter. Now, to be honest with you, this highlighter, I wasn't too fond about it when I saw it in the promo pictures, and even here in person. It's kind of like a golden champagne tone, a little bit more of like little Jackeline. It has somewhat of like a yellow tinge to it. Okay, let's not say little Jackeline. Let's call it a light limoncello. In fact, it actually has the same kind of like undertone of the metal part right here of the palette, like that. So let's see how it looks on the skin. I hope it doesn't, you know, turn too yellow. I'm using the Refer 20 brush. This is extremely pretty. It literally gives you this wet sheen to the skin. Just gonna put it here a little bit on my tip of my nose, and then, you know, I like it. And this tone right here, if you are more into the fair to light, even light medium skin tone like myself, and if you have already a tan, mostly right now during summertime, this is a beautiful highlighter shade. Okay, let's go now for the eyeshadows. Sonia G Worker Pro, and I'm gonna apply this shade all over my eyelid. This shade right here just has that very tiny amount of warmth to it. Sonia G Worker Pro, and this deeper shade here. And I'm gonna take this shade and apply it right here on my outer V. This is a very beautiful taupey shade. Sonia G Builder Pro, and let's go into this beautiful peach coral shade. And I'm gonna take it from the inner portion of my eyelid and just drag it all the way to the middle to meet with a taupey shade. So I just pick up a little bit more of that corally shade, and I'm gonna go ahead and wet it with my MAC Fix Plus. Just gorgeous. BK Beauty 204 brush, and I'm gonna go into this bronze shade, and then I'm gonna mix it in a little bit with this shade, and I'm taking it right here on my lower lash line. Sonia G Flat Definer and the darkest shade, and I'm taking it very, very close to the lash line too. Then out to meet with my upper eyelid. Refer 03 brush and the lightest shade. Okay, I'm gonna take this shade and I'm gonna apply it on my brow bone. Going back with Refer 03 brush, the lightest shade. And applying it wet, I'm gonna go to my inner corner. Completely done now with my eye look. In fact, I just smudged just a little bit on my upper lash line, a little bit of this Marc Jacobs eyeliner. I will be leaving all the details on the description box below. And I was thinking to use this blush from Tom Ford in Love Lasts because it has this beautiful peachy shade. But you know what? This is a face palette, and although eyeshadows are eyeshadows, why not just to try this beautiful coral shade as a blush? So I'm just gonna grab my Sonia G Soft Shake brush, and let's see right here. Let's just dab it in very gently. Okay, pick up enough product right there, and let's just apply just a little. And since it has a very light sheen to it, I think, yeah, it looks just so beautiful. It looks beautiful. Look at that. A little bit on my nose. Yeah, definitely you can use it as a blush. You know, if you're in a rush and you're just have this palette, you can just definitely use it as such. Okay, and as far as lipstick goes, I ordered this limited edition packaging for Indian Rose. This shade is existing, but you know what? I don't think it's gonna, you know, look good with the eye look because this is more coral, this is more pink. So we're gonna leave this friend right here for maybe a try on haul, something like that. And I have another two different shades right here from Tom Ford. This is in the shade Kariku, and then I also have, let's see, this one right here is Naked Coral. And now the Naked Coral is a lot more vibrant. I don't know which one to use. One is a little bit more muted. This is more vibrant. Should we go for vibrant, and then if not, we change? Okay, let's do that. I know it's a little bit more vibrant, but I like it. I think it looks cute. Okay, and then let's just top it off with a little bit of a gloss. So I'm gonna be using this gloss Luxe in the shade 03 Tantalize. Woo. So going out into comparisons, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and swatch the highlighter from Rose Cashmere and Red Harness. And I'm sorry if I cannot tilt it completely, but I'm super afraid that, you know, everything will fall. I perhaps will put a picture right here, right now, so you can see it closely, and that way you can, you know, compare one to the other. And then I will do also the highlighter from Moonlit Violet. So let's do first the highlighters and then the bronzers. So I'm gonna go from the lighter palette to the darker palette. This one is from Rose Cashmere, and this right here has, like I said, a little bit more of that limoncello type of tone, and then this right here has just a dash of warmth to it. It has a little bit of like some type of copper undertone, really beautiful. And then this one here, it's a lot more lighter, a little bit more like cooler, you know, more frosty, and that's from Moonlit Violet. Rose Cashmere Red Harness, and Moonlit Violet. Now I'm gonna do the same thing for the bronzers. So I have here Rose Cashmere, then Red Harness, and here it is Moon Violet. As you can see, they are neutral. I mean, they are deeper. You can tell, you know, from lightest to deepest, but they do not have a lot of red in it. I mean, to me, they seem very neutral. There's not much of like a cool tone either. Rose Cashmere, Red Harness, Moonlit Violet. Now, as far as similarities between Rose Cashmere and Red Harness, there's none. I'm gonna just go ahead and swatch the coral shade from Rose Cashmere, and then this tone right here is more copper, and let's do these ones so at least you have something to compare it with. And then the other shade, maybe perhaps these right here compared to these right here. Rose Cashmere, Red Harness. Top is Rose Cashmere, bottom is Red Harness. As you can tell, Red Harness, it even has more of like a cooler tone to it too. Now let's go into a palette that I'm sure everybody's gonna be asking, hey, are these like the same? I'm talking about the Soleil D'Hiver. These came out for the fall and winter Soleil collection. Very, very, very different. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna swatch first Rose Cashmere, and I'm leaving a space so we can swatch right next to it Soleil D'Hiver. Now this shade right here from Soleil D'Hiver has a little bit of glitter in it, like very finely milled. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it under Rose Cashmere. So there you go. First goes Rose Cashmere and then Soleil D'Hiver. And honestly, I have gone through my entire collection and I don't see any other palette, at least the ones that I have, that compares to this Rose Cashmere as far as eyeshadow goes. And I have right here Suspicion too. As you see, this is a lot more warm tone. I mean, we're talking about a very golden palette. Very different story. Now what about if we do some bronzers comparison? So I have here Gold Dust and then here I have Terra. First I'm gonna go with Gold Dust, then I'm going with the Rose Cashmere bronzer, and then let's do Terra, Gold Dust, Rose Cashmere, and Terra. I think right here you can tell right away how neutral is this tone. And then as other highlighters from Tom Ford, I do have this duo palette in Reflect Glitz. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm first gonna swatch this right here, and then I'm gonna sandwich it with the one from Rose Cashmere, and then at the bottom I'm gonna swatch this one right here. This right here and this right here is from the duo. This one right here is from Rose Cashmere. And you know what? Since I have you right here, I honestly do not remember if I did it or not on my review of the Red Harness palette, but I'm gonna swatch here this highlighter. I'm sure I did it with the bronzers, but I don't remember with the highlighter. Anyhow. This is the highlighter from Red Harness. Let me swatch it below the one from Rose Glitz, just so you can have a little bit of comparisons right there. So this one right here is from the duo Rose Glitz. In all honesty, I'm super happy that I purchased the Rose Cashmere palette. I'm not happy though that it came broken, but I'm happy that I was able to try it because I was judging this palette before giving it a try, before giving it an opportunity, because it seems so light in the pan. I mean, it looked beautiful on the pictures. I thought, you know, for my light to medium skin tone, it's not going to work. And I can tell you that if you are fair, light to medium, and you know, right there on the medium skin tone, these will work beautifully. These will just an amazing palette. If you like coral tones and peachy tones, this shade right here is absolutely stunning. As you were able to see on my demo, I used this shade right here as a blush and it works so beautifully. I mean, you don't have to do it because you don't want to run out of this shade, but say you're, you know, like, I shouldn't say traveling, because I feel like these palettes may not be travel friendly if they are just so, you know, so delicate per se. Say it is the case that this is the only palette that you have, or the only palette that you want to buy for your collection. I think you have a really good round face palette. Now, this shade right here, all the eyeshadows, they are on the satin side. So they have a little bit of this sheen to them. None of them are matte. But what it makes not only of this palette, but all the other palettes from this line, it is that the bronzer, I mean, is completely matte, so you can definitely use that as your base, as an eyeshadow, and then go over top with these, or just use one, you know, the bronzer set and done, and then inner corner if you want to. I mean, it is versatile. This shade right here, it really surprised me because, like I said, I'm honest with you, it looked very yellow on the pan. I'm like, it's not gonna look too good. Now, if you have a very cool undertone to your skin, this highlighter may not work for you. If you, on the other side, are more neutral, even if you have some pink undertone, and if you are warm like me, this will definitely work fine. I mean, like, is super pretty, and this is what it really surprised me about all these face palettes, because these highlighters are just incredible, and the formula also of the bronzers themselves, I think they are up to par with the new Charlotte Tilbury bronzers. That's how good these bronzers are right here. They are just so easy to diffuse, blend, and I really love too that they have these very neutral undertone that is not pulling either too gray or too cool or too warm. That is right there. I think that makes it perfect. And now I would love to know from you if you have pick up any of these palettes. I know it has been so hard to get our hands on these palettes, but like I said, up to right now, we know that they are not limited edition, so hopefully they will start trickling into other retailers as well as Tom Ford. I will suggest though, if you buy it, just wait a little, perhaps if you're not too anxious, you know, and perhaps just try to get it from Nordstrom or another retailer when they become available. Again, all the links to where to get them, they will be on the description box below, as well as my video with the review of the palettes Red Harness and Moonlit Violet. And while you're reading that description box or leaving your comment, do not wait too long. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, ring that post notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads, and come and follow me on my Instagram. Let's grow our family and let's stay in communication. Right there, I keep you posted on whatever is new and coming, launching, or you know, if something is on restock, I keep you posted right there as well. And again, I would just love for you to become part of this family. If you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, also share with family and friends, and until the next time, I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye bye.